Good morning, and thank you for waking up with us here on Live Now from Fox. It's Thursday morning, August 7th. I'm Jeanne Francine here with you for the next few hours to give you all of your breaking news alerts, top stories, and your live events of the day. As we come on the air bright and early this Friday Eve, we are following some breaking news as it relates to the Trump presidency and, of course, those tariffs. Giving you some video on your screen as we are following the very latest from the Associated Press. They report this Thursday U.S. President Donald Trump's wide-ranging tariffs went into effect at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time this Thursday, just as the economic fallout of what they say is his months of threatening them is surfacing in visible damage to the economy. The import taxes will reach a level not seen in the U.S. in almost 100 years, with Americans expected to pay an average of 18.3% more for imported products. AP reports that's the highest rate since 1934, according to the Budget Lab at Yale. That's a nonpartisan policy research center. AP continues to report companies are dealing with the tariffs in various ways. For example, many automakers appear to be swallowing the cost for now, but most economists say the cost will ultimately be borne by U.S. consumers and businesses in some degree. I want to share the latest of what we know at this hour as far as countries that are being impacted by the tariffs. What we know at this hour, more than 60 countries and the European Union face tariff rates of 10% or higher. Among the countries with higher rates is India. President Trump signed an executive order Wednesday to place an additional 25% tariff on India for its purchases of Russian oil, bringing the combined tariffs imposed by the United States on its ally to 50% to go into effect later this month. And speaking of the commander-in-chief, I do want to transition to share his latest remarks that he provided on Truth Social. Take a look as he says, quote, reciprocal tariffs take effect at midnight tonight, billions of dollars, largely from countries that have taken advantage of the United States for many years, laughing all the way, will start flowing into the USA. The commander-in-chief goes on to say, quote, the only thing that can stop America's greatness would be a radical left court that wants to see our country fail, end quote. So, of course, as we continue to follow this, more information provided by the Associated Press, they say that President Trump has used tariff threats to exert political pressure. They say President Trump has directly tied Brazil's 50% tariff on many imported goods to the trial of his embattled ally, former Brazilian president, who's currently under house arrest. The White House has placed the tariff rate on U.S. imports from Canada at 35%, saying Canada failed to do more to arrest, seize, detain, or otherwise intercept traffickers, criminals at large, and illicit drugs, end quote. And we also know from AP that President Trump has previously pushed back the date tariffs would take effect. The commander-in-chief imposed the deadline after his previous tariffs back in April resulted in a stock market panic. His unusually high tariff rates led to recession fears, prompting the president to impose a 90-day negotiating period. When he was unable to create enough trade deals with other countries, he then extended the timeline and sent out letters to world leaders that simply listed rates, prompting a slew of hasty deals. So this is a developing story, and we do continue to follow the very latest. We have this on your screen courtesy of X, formerly known as Twitter. At midnight, the commander-in-chief put this out. He says, quote, it's midnight. Billions of dollars in tariffs are now flowing into the United States of America. As you can see, this is a developing story. And of course, we do plan to get European Commission remarks in the 6 o'clock hour here on the East Coast as we are following all international response. And speaking of international response, we actually have a live look that I want to bring on your screen. It's a view of the Cape Town port activity as U.S. tariffs have come into force. Of course, we will follow the very latest of this here on Live Now from Fox.